guys hear me? Is it okay? Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. Hello, everyone. There we go. My name is Dr. Paul Biondich. I'm a chiropractor. I work with elite and professional athletes. I've worked with athletes from the National Hockey League, Major League Soccer, numerous athletes from Canadian national team programs, from judo, taekwondo, cycling, a whole list of different sports. And I currently work with the UFC heavyweight champion of the world. But before we get into these amazing products, can we give a big round of applause to Jerry? Didn't she do an amazing job? So people say to me, Paul, you know, it must be really exciting working with professional and elite athletes. And of course it can be, but it comes with tremendous pressure. Because if an athlete comes into your office and says, Paul, I want to win a world title. I need to win an Olympic medal. I need to re-sign my multi-million-dollar contract. Do you think there's a little bit of pressure on you? So do you think selecting the right nutrition is important? Right. So I study nutrition globally. I study nutrition in Canada, United States, Australia, New Zealand, UK, Germany, because I have to select the best products in the world if you want to move the metrics of a professional athlete. 2, 3, 4% improvement, you've done your job. So it's critical. Quality assurance is very important. Research and selection of raw materials, fresh ingredients, extensive audits for quality control, these are all critical components. Travis was mentioning earlier there's over 40 scientists working with Isagenix in the research and development department. So this company just doesn't, hey, we're going to put a couple ingredients together, slap a name on it, and then throw it to you and give it to you. That's not what they do. So that was the first clue for myself that this is a world-class company. There's solutions that transform lives. We have weight management solutions, energy and performance solutions. Why this is important is prior to Isagenix, I was designing very complicated, convoluted programs that my athletes hated. There's 4 of these, 5 of these, 6 of these, products from all over the world. It worked, but they didn't like taking it. So Isagenix has created a system that's very, very simple to use, from the average person to the high-performance athlete can use and get effective results. This shake here, the Isagenix shake, is the protein shake that absolutely blew me away. This is where it all started. A colleague of mine, Dr. Michelle Staten-Dickey, she introduced me to this Isagenix shake, and I really didn't want to look at it because I study under high-performance nutrition specialists. They take seminars, you read all the books, and I never really heard of this word Isagenix. I really didn't want to look at it. I said, fine, you know what, I'll probably find 13 things that I wouldn't feed to my cat. And the first thing I said is 100% grass-fed, undenatured whey protein. This is the first clue. This is considered the best protein in the world. This is what Olympic athletes use. This is what world champions use. If you want maximum repair, recovery, and growth, then this is the protein you want. If you want maximum weight loss, this is the protein. If you want maximum lean muscle, this is the protein. What's the point of working out very hard if you're not going to match your repair and recovery and growth with nutrition? It doesn't make sense. And if we look a little deeper into the product, we see there's 24 grams of protein matched by 24 grams of carbohydrates. Now, why this is important and significant, it's another clue for me, was this is a 1-to-1 ratio. And this ratio is important. It comes from science. Science shows that a 1-to-1 ratio of carbs to protein is the optimum ratio for body composition change. These guys just didn't say, hey, how many grams should we put in? Somebody said 24. Cool. How many grams of carbohydrate? 24. All right, let's put it in. That's not how they do it. But you know what? I've looked at other protein companies, and it really seems like that's the way they do it. There's no rhyme and reason on what the grams of protein to carbohydrates is. And a lot of companies, they have actually higher carbohydrates and lower protein. It's very bizarre. Number 2, our whey protein, grass-fed and denatured, has the highest branched chain amino acid content. Not to get too sciencey or techy, but the BCAAs here, this is what regulates repair, recovery, and growth. So if you're an athlete, you want maximum repair, recovery, growth. You want the naturally highest occurring branched chain amino acids. If you want maximum fat loss, maximum lean muscle mass, then this is what it is. But protein extends beyond muscle, hair, nails, skin. 300,000 different enzymes in the body are all made up of protein. Your DNA structures are made up of protein. So protein goes well beyond muscle. It's vitality, it's health. So what you put in your body, the selection of protein you put in, is very important. I'm going to ask a very rhetorical question for a second. Because people say, they try to compare Isagenix proteins to, other companies. What's the most important component of a protein shake? Somebody tell me the answer. Sorry? Whey, yes. But in a protein shake, you have many different components in it. Balance. The most important component, taste is important, is the protein. It's actually protein. People come up to me and say, Paul, check out this protein shake. And it has sprouted granola vegetables in it. Sorry, did you say a protein shake? But what's the protein in it? Isn't the protein shake about the protein? That's why it's called a protein shake. So the protein shake should be the best protein shake in the world. Are we in agreement? Yes. As compared to soy, which is mostly in our competitors, who they have, and soy has 50% less leucine. Leucine is the main amino acid in our branched chain amino acids, which means that regulates repair, recovery, and growth. So that has 50% less, then your repair, recovery, and growth is less. So you can't even compare apples and apples here. Somebody picks up a soy-based protein and says, and most competitors don't even match our grams. They're down to about 18 grams of protein in soy protein. So the recovery, repair, and growth is significantly less. So we have to be really objective and real when we're comparing proteins. And this is what one of the huge differentiators in Isagenix is. There's another huge problem with soy-based proteins. There's something called isoflavonoids. Does anybody know what they are or what they do? What they mimic? What hormone do they mimic? Yes, estrogen. They mimic estrogen. So if you're consuming a soy-based protein in high quantities for long periods of time, what are you exposing yourself to? Estrogen. Now, I don't know any male who's come into my office and said, Paul, you know what? My 6-pack has turned into my 8-pack. I'm just feeling a little too masculine these days. I need to get in touch with my feminine side. Is there a food that you can recommend that can do that for me? I said, actually, there is. And I know a couple companies that sell a lot of it. No, of course that's not going to happen. And for women, we know, there's certain conditions where estrogen exposure has to be lowered as well. So there's a lot of problems with soy-based proteins. So we need to be objective and realistic when we're comparing companies in quality and effectiveness. Ionic Supreme. This is a game-changing product. Anybody stressed in here? Yeah? When you're stressed, can someone tell me which hormone elevates under stress? Cortisol. Thank you. Excellent. Now, there's a little bit of a secret in weight loss. Anybody here wondering, they're trying to go on a diet, they're dropping their calories, but they can't break through that fat plateau? Anybody experiencing that? The reason is high stress. And when you're stressed, cortisol goes up. When your cortisol goes up, it's very difficult to burn fat. So if we had a mechanism to control cortisol, then we have a mechanism to break through fat loss plateaus. Very powerful tool. And I want to illustrate something very quickly. This is what a normal cortisol curve should look like. I'm going to put it up on the screen in a second, so it'll be up here. Cortisol should be nice and high in the morning. Gets you right up and bushy-tailed, ready to go. As the day goes on, cortisol comes down, By the end of the day, it's nice and low. So you can go to sleep. Because during sleep, we have rest, repair, recovery, and growth. Before Isagenix, I'm going to use myself as an example. This is what my cortisol curve was. We'll wake up in the morning, tired. Kids start yelling, stress comes up. Trying to figure out breakfast, what to wear, clothes up, go to work, boss starts yelling, cortisol's going up, just drive the kids to work, not going to talk about the wife, but you know. At night, look where my cortisol level is. It's through the roof. Can anybody relate to that? How are you supposed to go to sleep when your cortisol is high at night? How are you supposed to repair, recovery, and growth? Can you? Very difficult. At what time of the day is you have the maximum fat loss? Is it during the day, the afternoon, or while you're sleeping? While you're sleeping. So guess what's happened? If you have a tool to put this cortisol curve back into normal, as close to normal as you can, then guess what's happening? You're sleeping better, you're repairing, you're waking up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, fat loss is happening, you feel vibrant. Are we starting to get the picture of why Isagenix is so effective? It's not about, well, I can get a cheaper protein off a website. It's not about that. It's about the system. The system and breaking through the secrets of vitality and health, never mind weight loss. Nourish for life. This is part of what's called a cleanse day. And cleanse days, people get a little bit worried. And they say, you know, Paul, is this a, I've done cleanse days before, but is this a poopy cleanse? I was trying to find a better word for that thing, but no, it's not a poopy cleanse. I mean, it's not a, you know what I'm talking about, right? It's not one of those cleanses. It's a liver cleanse. It's a detoxification cleanse. It's supporting, Nourish for Life supports the liver in its natural detoxification process. So why is that important? Anybody hear of something called intermittent fasting? Yes? Okay. Intermittent fasting is very powerful. It's the latest rage. Fitness models, physique models, bodybuilders are all doing intermittent fasting to get that physique ripped look. So people come up to me and say, Paul, you heard about intermittent fasting? It's the latest rage. Yeah, I heard about it. Isagenix has been doing it for 10 years. Not last year. 10 years ago. Why are they doing it 10 years ago? Why did they start 10 years ago? Because they know. They are the leaders in the industry. They're not following anybody. They're creating the industry. Intermittent fasting also does something else very powerful. It's called insulin sensitivity. Now, in real simple English, what it means is when you eat a carbohydrate, a rice, a pasta, bread, doesn't matter. Your body has two things that you can do with it. One, it can put it into muscle. I'm trying to flex it, for storage. Or it can store it into fat. So the tendency for your body to shuttle it into muscle or shuttle it into fat is describing your insulin sensitivity. So if high insulin sensitivity, those are those nice, slim, sleek people who can eat lots of carbs and not get any weight. You know those people? We hate those people. Sorry about that. But in me, for myself, genetically, I'm less insulin sensitive. I gotta watch myself. So if I stare at a bagel too long, I start gaining weight. So you have to have tools to change your insulin sensitivity. And intermittent fasting is a very powerful, effective tool. So now we're starting to put this piece together, a thing called Isagenix. Best proteins in the world, cortisol controlling herbs, intermittent fasting. We're understanding the system now, why it's so effective, why people are having such great results, well beyond just taking a protein powder that has sprouted granola in it. We had the E-Shot, 85 milligrams of naturally sourced caffeine from herbe mate and green tea. It's like about a medium to small cup of coffee in terms of caffeine. Nice little pick-me-upper at 3 p.m. during your cleanse days, pre-workout. It's a wonderful product. And it combines two things, which is again, first of its kind in the world. Naturally sourced caffeine with adaptogens. Those cortisol controlling herbs. Never been done before. It's very brilliant if you think about it, because caffeine is a stimulant and adaptogens control stress. So it gives you this nice, even, steady energy. Very powerful tool, and tons of different ways to use it, especially in sports performance. Now, admittedly, my life was getting a little stressful, out of control, 3 kids, 2 practices, and I wasn't practicing what I was preaching. So my wife grabbed me one day and said, "Paul, you know what? You've got to get back in shape. You sound like you know what you're talking about, you don't look like it." So the two have to start to match. And I looked at the Isagenix system, and I knew it was phenomenal in terms of how it works. And I said, okay, I'm going to do the Isabody challenge, which you'll hear more about later. Over a 16-week period, I went on the 30-day system repeatedly. I did train very hard physically, like weight resistant training, and these were my results. Thank you. Yeah. I was the Isabody 2013 Energy Performance winner, and I had to put the product to the test. And there's many people who have these results, different types of results, but it's an effective system. And when we look at our systems, we have weight management, our 30-day systems. These run about 10 pounds a day in terms of cost. So they're quite reasonable. All the system is 1 protein shake in the morning, 1 protein shake in the afternoon. These are complete meal replacements. These are legal meal replacements. It's another differentiating point to our competitors, that they're legal meal replacements. 1 shake in the morning, 1 shake in the afternoon, then a healthy meal on your own in the evening. You can flip that order any way you like, but that's typical. You run this for 6 days. On the 7th day, it's not a religious experience, but it's your cleanse day. And you run that for 4 weeks. That basically comprises of the 30-day system in general. We have our energy and performance premium pack. You get a lot more items in it, a blender, our isohydrate, and you get to really try a full product line in our system. And our energy and performance, that was our weight management premium pack. Energy and performance 30-day system, again, not for somebody who's maybe wanting to lose weight, but wanting to put clean, lean muscle on. Again, it's about 10 pounds per day. And our energy performance premium pack is about 20 pounds a day. We talked about the Isabody challenge. I highly, highly recommend everybody in this room, if you're enrolling into Isagenix, enroll into the Isabody challenge. All you need to do is put your before pictures in, put your after pictures in 16 weeks, write a small little paragraph of why it's so wonderful, and the company gives you a very generous product credit towards your next purchase. And it runs continuously every 16 weeks. And for those who want to really enter it to win the prizes, North America has massive, incredible prizes. I'll let the UK team announce officially what the prizes are going to be here, but they're quite phenomenal. And we can see we have people of all ages, shapes, and sizes that have entered to win. And if I can recommend one thing to really, for those who are interested in building your business, have everybody enroll in Isabody Challenge. It's one of the best ways to grow your business. So in short, we have to be real in disclaimers. We all have different shapes, metabolic rates, and levels of activity. This means our rates of weight loss or muscle gain will differ too. There's no such thing as typical results. It's important that people do not have unrealistic expectations. So in conclusion, this is not a protein company. This is not a diet. This is a system that's never been created before. Nobody even comes close to our systems in terms of our quality protein, our intermittent fasting, our stress controlling herbs, and our world-class management in the Isagenix team we have here. And that's why Isagenix